If you're confused about whether you should take the IELTS or the OET for your UK career, you're not alone. People message me every week saying, Molly, which test should I take? Which one is easier? Which one will help me get to the UK faster? So, today, I'm going to give you the simplest, clearest breakdown of IELTS versus OET. Let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Molly. I'm an English fluency coach helping international adults communicate clearly and confidently in the UK.
That's beautiful, Katie.
I've worked with doctors, nurses, carers, business professionals, and academics, and I've built complete 4 to 8 week courses for both IELTS and the OET. So, my job here today is to help you choose the safest, smartest path for your goal. Let's get into it. So, before you think about difficulties, strategy, or scoring, you need to know this. Let's talk about IELTS. IELTS is a general and academic English test. It's used for things like UK work visas, university admissions, immigrations, some job applications outside of healthcare. It tests your English in a wide range of contexts. That's academic reading, general discussions, and everyday sentences. Now, the OET is 100% healthcare focused. It's designed for nurses, doctors, pharmacists, dentists, radiographers, physiotherapists, carers, and HCAs, and other clinical professions. Every single reading, listening, writing, and speaking task is based on real healthcare situations. So, the quickest way to decide this is if you're not in healthcare, choose IELTS. If you are in healthcare, OET is always the smarter choice.
Wow.
Let me give you a quick example. A nurse I worked with last year, let's call her Maria. She spent 6 months trying to pass the IELTS. She failed writing multiple times, mainly because IELTS essays require a very specific academic structure that has nothing to do with nursing. When she switched to the OET, everything clicked. Why? Because she was writing referral letters, doing patient role plays, and listening to handovers, things she already did every single day at work. She passed the OET in 5 weeks, and that's the difference context makes. Okay, let's compare each skill so you can see the actual differences. Reading, when it comes to the IELTS test, contains 3 long academic style passages. Fast scanning and skimming are needed, and topics can be anything. They can be science, they can be history, they can be technology, they can be culture. Vocabulary can be extremely advanced. If you're not used to reading academic texts, IELTS reading is tough. When it comes to the OET, it comes in 3 parts, Part A, B, and C. Part A is fast reading of clinical texts, and that tends to be quite predictable. Part B and C are workplace documents, policies, patient leaflets, and case notes. If you work in healthcare, these formats will feel familiar to you. When it comes to the listening aspect in IELTS, we have 4 recordings, a mixture of accents, wide range of topics, and some sections spoken very quickly. In the OET, it's very health focused. Consultations, handovers, ward discussions, and it has a very predictable layout. And again, healthcare workers usually find the OET for listening more intuitive. When it comes to speaking for the IELTS, you have a 3 part interview with an examiner. The topics can be random, they'll be about food, hobbies, public transport, the environment. It requires spontaneous thinking. And when it comes to the OET, you have 2 role plays. One where you're the professional and the examiner is the patient. The scenarios are generally predictable. You have explaining medication, giving advice, taking history, reassuring a worried patient. This is one of the biggest reasons the OET is easier for healthcare workers. You're essentially doing what you already do at work. So, what about writing? Well, in the IELTS, task 1 is a report on charts or graphs. Task 2, a formal essay, and there are high expectations for structure, cohesion, and vocabulary. It's very technical. For the writing section in the OET, you have one task only, a clinical letter, usually a referral, a transfer, or a discharge letter. All information is provided to you in case notes. You just need to organize it clearly and logically. This is why many nurses and doctors find IELTS writing extremely tough. It's not related to their profession at all. What about the scoring? So, IELTS uses band 1 through 9, and OET uses grades A through E. The common UK requirements for nurses doing the OET are a B in listening, reading, speaking, plus a C in writing. Or if you're taking the IELTS, a band 7 in listening, reading, and speaking, and a 6.5 in writing. For doctors, for the OET, you need a straight B. For the IELTS, band 7.5 overall. So what about the cost, wait times, and retakes? For IELTS, it's £180, whereas for the OET, it's £350. It is more expensive, but also more passable for healthcare workers. What about for retakes?
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, when you sit the IELTS test and you don't make the band that you wanted to get, so you have to retake the full test. Whereas for the OET, you can now retake individually the writing, reading, listening, and speaking in many locations. How long does it take to get your results? For the IELTS, you usually get your exam results within 2 to 5 days. And for the OET, the results take around 12 business days. So which one should you choose? You should choose IELTS if you're not in healthcare, you need a general UK work visa, you're applying for university, you need a broad English certification, or you have strong academic reading and writing skills. You should choose the OET if you're a nurse or a doctor, you work in healthcare, you prefer predictable tasks, and you want to use your clinical knowledge to pass. You find essay writing in English difficult, or you want a faster route to your registration. Don't overcomplicate it. Choose the test that plays to your strengths. Now, I've built a complete step-by-step programs for both exam, one for IELTS and one for OET, ranging from 4 to 8 weeks depending on your level. These courses are designed to take all the guesswork out with clear weekly goals, speaking and writing templates, exam-style practice, video lessons, structured methods, and real strategies that I use with my students. If you want updates or early access, you can find the link in the description. You can join the waitlist and I'll guide you through the best route based on your profession, your goals, and your timeline. If this video helped you decide between the IELTS and OET, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which exam you're taking and why. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.